Hi everybody, welcome back to Game On.
Hey guys.
I'm Justin.
I'm Matt.
Hey Matt, you have flaunted binders worth of NPCs in front of me and in front of camera. And they are big enough to crush a small mouse. And we have a couple questions from some of our viewers about how the heck do you make an NPC that's not just a cookie cutter person?
Okay. So if
Poor mouse.
I feel like, well, if people have questions, obviously we want to answer them as best we can. So trying to think about what I do to make NPCs, which is kind of, I don't know, organic. I don't plan it that much, but there's some things that I've developed over the years.
I'm an NPC in your life.
No.
Oh,
You're part of my party. Except with when you say stuff like crushing mice with the, anyway, I don't know.
I'm chaotic neutral.
Yes, yes you are. Yes you are. So I feel like when I'm talking about NPCs, the most important factors are thinking about why an NPC does what they do and when they need to do it.
Okay.
Right? So one of those is inhabiting a character, and one of those is about getting the utility out of an NPC, which is usually there at least partially to do a job in your story, right?
Right.
I mean, some of it is color, some of it is to make the enjoyment of roleplay better, but they also can be information delivery devices. They can be decoys and roadblocks or antagonists or potential allies. So all of these things are the reasons to have a library of NPCs. But for me, what makes an NPC fun, both when I'm running a game and particularly when I'm playing a game, and playing off of them, is having that sort of authentic experience, right? Like, you want them to feel like a real person. You want them to feel as much of it as a character as the player characters do.
I can't do that.
You can.
I can.
You can.
Maybe I feel like I can't do it.
Well, look, the thing is, it's about doing it consistently, right? And you can't hit a home run every time you're at bat. No. But there are some things that I do that I've learned over time work for me, and they might work for other people too, which I guess is where the questions come in. So,
I mean, you are basically the shaman.
No, you're overselling me on this.
I don't know. They asked you by name.
Okay, all right. And guys, you asked me for my name by name, so I'm gonna do my best to answer the questions.
Well, how do I make a character feel alive?
Well, I mean, again, it's about knowing them, knowing their motivations, knowing their agendas, things like that. Inhabiting that character by understanding them, right? So that sounds all sort of flaky and non-specific. But the way that the two ways that I do that most frequently, and why I have a huge binder, is I tend to use my PCs from other campaigns and even alternate games as NPCs in other games. And it's a shortcut for me that works because I know those characters. I've spent hours of game sessions being those characters. I know their mannerisms. I know their quirks. I know their speech patterns. I know their motivations, their wants, their prejudices, what they like, what they don't like. So those are second nature to me because I know those characters. So I can use those, even if I have to adapt them from one game system to another. I can take that personality and slap a new stat block on them if I need to. But who they are, the essence of who they are, is known to me because they're a character that I've played before. So that helps me sort of fast track into a realistic NPC. And the more games you've played and the more different types of characters you've played, you can channel that stuff. Even if you don't have a binder and you don't pull out the specific sheet, you can kind of reach back into your mental library of player characters and say, oh, this NPC that the characters are encountering is very much like so-and-so that I played 3 years ago in whatever game. And you pull that material and that personality to the forefront and play it, and it can really work and it'll feel more authentic.
Using bricks from old buildings. I like it.
Another great shortcut, and I've talked about this a little bit before, so forgive me guys if I'm rehashing, but I steal from other creative materials. I borrow, adapt personalities and mannerisms of memorable characters from all over the place, whether it's books, movies, television, what have you, right? Like, there are much more talented artists that have portrayed characters brilliantly that have the essence of what you need for any given scene in a game. So, channel that. Like, think of the character who on a movie or a television show or in a book that encapsulates what you're going for, and just pull details from that character. Maybe it's body language, maybe it's an accent, maybe it's who knows. Focus on somebody who did a great version of the thing that you're going for. Yes, they need to be authentic and they need to be convincing, but they also need to do their job.
Yep.
Right? And we talked about, are they an information delivery device? Are they an antagonist? Are they a decoy to send the characters down or misdirect them from a plot point? So knowing what your character's job is and what the conditions are and the timing for when they're supposed to do that job is absolutely essential to having smooth gameplay with an NPC. A lot of it is improvisation, but a little bit of preparation and again, sort of the shortcuts to familiarity by knowing the characters ahead of time makes a big, big difference.
Okay.
So hopefully that helps answer the question a little bit. I don't know. For me, running a game, playing the NPCs is one of the most fun parts. So that's why I do things the way that I do them. And I think it's fun for the players too, so at least I hope so.
Yeah. So, hey, if you guys like this kind of content, you want more like targeted information for game masters like this, hit that like button.
Yeah, and obviously questions. We love questions, and that's where this topic sort of came from. But if you guys have other questions for myself or for Justin or for either of us to sort of volley back and forth, we'd love to hear them and address them in a future episode.
Yes, thank you guys very much for watching.
We always appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, game on.